Speaker, honorable members of the House, we live in a nation where cricketers, they promote gambling sites. We live in a nation where celebrities, they promote Ayurvedic cures for COVID-19. And we live in a nation where influencers promote crypto with all the confidence that blockchain is same as black magic. We must ask ourselves, are we a market of ideas or simply a market of misplaced endorsements? Because we live in a country where in India, over 25% of the population is functionally illiterate and even more digitally unaware. For them, celebrity endorsements are not just a marketing gimmick, it's gospel. It transcends caste equations, political ideologies, and even common sense. If Sachin Tendulkar comes on this podium and says, a toothpaste protects you from cavities and character flaws, millions will believe him. So keeping this in mind, in the Parliament in 2019, the Consumer Protection Act was enacted. But the Section 21 of the very Act forgets influencer marketing. In the 21st century, we have new emerging platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. These platforms, they create an unregulated class of influencers. It's a playground for them without any regulations. So let me take you to the case of Johnson & Johnson. The Johnson & Johnson faces billions in lawsuit in America. Why? Because it is proven to give ovarian cancer to the people for using talcum powder. And in India, it continues to sell because the law in India never anticipated it. The devil emerges from pastel colors and comfort. Thus, I propose the following reforms. A risk-tier matrix for harsher penalties for misplaced endorsements regarding financial endorsements, misplaced and security and for health. And a serial offenders registry for those who just simply think they're above the law. And third, a strengthened CCPA. So let us not just learn from the UK's ASA, the US's FTC. Let us learn from the simple logic of consumer dignity. In conclusion, if medicines carry warning labels and cigarettes carry smoking kills, so celebrities should carry the same. Products may be glamorous, but guidance not guaranteed. For following its very guidance may cost you your life. Jai Hind, Jai Nagrik Suraksha. Thank you.
Honorable Member Rudraksh Sengupta.
हेलो गब्बर सिंह ने मुझसे पूछा कितने आदमी थे, मैंने जवाब दिया एक। पर ये एक आदमी कोई आदमी नहीं लेकिन इंडियन जुडिशियल सिस्टम था, और गब्बर सिंह कोई डाकू नहीं लेकिन इंडियन एग्जीक्यूटिव थी। Back in the British days, justice walked in with a cane, a hat, spoke with a British accent, and ruled with a bias that never made the law an equalizer between the rulers and the ruled. And yet, in 1950, the Indian Constitution emerged against the backdrop of this colonization experience. And reflecting the broader sentiments of the time, judicial independence was meant as more than just a constitutionary principle. It was meant as the guardian of fundamental rights, of freedom and of democracy itself. For the judiciary didn't need a horse or a whip to speak. All it needed was Article 21 and upholding the fundamental rights of the people in a democracy. Now, side opposition sentiments are completely justified. I mean, who wouldn't want the absolute power to overrule and control any and all decisions? But as American artist Kanye West has rightly remarked, no one man should have all that power. Now let us look at history. Many of you have come up here and quoted prominent cases like Kesavananda Bharati versus the state of Kerala. However, the basic, most important function of a judiciary is about not what it does for the government or the constitution, but about what it does for the people. And the people is what I represent. How many of you know about the Vishaka versus state of Rajasthan case of 1997? Bharwani Devi, a woman belonging to the lower caste, was gang raped by upper caste men for daring to oppose child marriage. And while the executive remained quiet, mum, against the backdrop of absolute corruption, it was the judiciary who legislated, who opposed and spoke up for the people, indoctrinating the Vishaka guidelines for protection of women against sexual harassment in public workplace. And even in trying troubling times when Democracy, freedom and independence itself seemed hanging by a thread. The judiciary stood its ground. For it made one thing very clear. This wasn't about protecting the this wasn't about upholding constitutional laws, but about protecting the fundamental rights of the people, about insaniyat, about humanity. Now let us consider possible fallacies within this judicial mechanism. The opacity in the appointment of judges and a lack of transparency is what has been cited as a valid reason by side opposition to come up here and quote for his proposition of NJAC, or the National Judicial Appointment Commission in 2014, which advocated for interference of the executive in the internal matters of the judiciary, thereby not only reducing judicial primacy, but going against the very basic structure of our constitution itself. Members of the House, the situations, sentiments and ideas of a country like India cannot be compared to those like Pakistan, China or Russia, where judiciary remains under absolute control. Because we are a people whose very constitution and population are authored by freedom and independence. And now, as to conclude my speech, I would like to say that for all those who still believe judicial independence is negotiable, the courts have reasonable suspicion to believe that they are fans of the Argentinian football team, because corruption to them is absolutely normalized. Thank you.
Honorable Member Gupta.
Hello. Fellow members of the House, I have just made a groundbreaking discovery. The sun rises in the north and the capital of India is Berlin. Ki Babu Mashai, sun ke acha nahi laga. But maybe if the surname on that screen read out Bachchan or Khan, all of you the reaction would have been much different. What an intrinsic worldview this young man has. And thanks to the media coverage, I would have been making news headlines. Rudraksh Bachchan, Rudraksh Khan exposes the fallacies of the scientific community. And now, if I sold you this face cream, let's just pretend this is a face cream for now. If I sold you this face cream under the premise and promise that it does not only fix your blemishes, but also all your insecurities and problems with the same leveraged surnames, all of you, it would have not have taken you a second to buy the same lies that I'm indoctrinating right now. And this is the problem. This is the problem in today's society. We live in a radical consumerist world whose inherent roots come from a lack of self-image and insecurity exposed by the masses. For fellow opposition speakers might come up here and question whether the public have a brain. The thing is we do, but unfortunately we're the middle children of history. We have no purpose, no place, we have no great war, we have no great depression, and all the world's commoners are united by a common sentiment today, the desire to represent something greater and stand for something that has value. And who better to provide this value than celebrities, influencers, people of celebration, loved, respected and adored. Yet when this power to influence is misused, chaos and mere chaos ensues. For today's motion is really not that deep. You don't need literature or broad descriptive narratives to describe it. It is very simple actually. If you look at it carefully, it is a universal truth that has been carefully shedded under a banner of disillusioned trust. For absolute power, as we all know, corrupts absolutely. And in a country like India, where celebrities on the other side of the screen are given a godlike status quo, reigning supreme over even the law, this situation is even more prevalent. But if we are the forsaken children of God, then so be it. If we are treated like expendable currencies for their own personal profit and benefit, then we will retaliate like starving lions. हम झुकेंगे नहीं इन रावणों के सामने जो खिटखिटाते हैं घरों घरों में लेके झूठे हुए वादे और संतत्वा का संकल्प, लेकिन छोड़ के जाते हैं सिर्फ बिके हुए सपने और टूटे हुए दिल. Ignore my half-baked Hindi, for it isn't my mother tongue. But anyways, this isn't a mere violation of any constitutory article or disciplinary guideline, but a very disintegration and disregard for the core ethical and moral values that the country of India stands on. The basic fundamental concepts of trust, those of the Guru deep-rooted in our tradition. This is sin of the gravest order. And याद रखिए members of the house, टूटा हुआ कांच तो जा सकता है लेकिन टूटे हुए रिश्ते नहीं, क्योंकि विश्वास एक बहुत नाजुक चीज है, कोई खिलौना नहीं. And therefore I conclude my speech by saying, हीरोगिरी फूफू करने में नहीं, सच बताने और सच बांटने में है. Thank you.
Honorable member Akshat R. Chaudhary.
धन्यवाद माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय। आजकल के इस जमाने में एक सच्चाई को पेश करना बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है कि चेहरे बिकते हैं, आवाजें भी बिकती हैं और सबसे महंगी चीज ट्रस्ट, भरोसा, विश्वास, ये भी बिकाऊ है। यदि मैं आपके सामने यह कलम पेश करके कहता कि यह पेन उपयोगी है, ये अच्छी लिखती है, इसे खरीदिए, कोई नहीं खरीदता। बट इफ आई चेंज माई मॉड्यूलेशन एंड शुगर कोट माई वर्ड्स, ये पेन केवल लिखती नहीं है, ये पेन इतिहास रचने की क्षमता रखती है, इस पेन को खरीदिए और इतिहास रचिए। हाँ, थैंक यू। आप में से आधे से ज्यादा लोग इस पेन को प्राप्त करने हेतु कुछ भी कर लेते। ये है प्रभाव, ये ही है हमारी समस्या। बिकॉज टुडे वी लिव इन अ वर्ल्ड वेयर सेलिब्रिटीज आर नो लॉन्गर जस्ट एक्टर्स, डांसर्स और सिंगर्स. They are the public authority figures that dictate and tell us what to wear, what to eat, where we should invest our money, and even what ideological parties we should support. And more often than not, they do this without any factual information or consideration of consequences of what they endorse and how they do it. Take the example of my friend Vineet, who wanted to lose a few pounds. He one day found that his favorite actor endorsed a product called Biotin gummies for weight loss. 6 months of chewing those gummies day and night and no result at all, not even an inch. Why? Because scientifically speaking, Biotin has no proven effect on weight loss. But ye Vineet ko kaun kehta? The actor who promoted this product? Absolutely not. Vineet not only lost his money and time but also his trust, the most important part. और Vineet अकेला नहीं है. Vineet के जैसे हजारों, लाखों, करोड़ों भारतीय नागरिक हैं जिनके साथ विश्वासघात हुआ है, धोखा हुआ है और होता आ रहा है. Yes, we have the CPA and the CCPA which fines endorsers from 10 to 50 lakhs. लेकिन मेरे जैसे बड़े बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स के लिए तो 10 लाख 50 लाख कुछ भी नहीं है. ऐसे छोटे छोटे फाइन्स तो होते रहते हैं. हाँ, the ASCI still remains a body that only makes guidelines but does not and cannot take any measures on any violations. So while the law whispers, the reels, Facebook posts, WhatsApp forwards and Instagram stories, they scream. And these screams are louder and they reach faster to the audience than any guidelines, advisories or warnings from the government. So what must we do? Well, firstly, we provide ASCI with statutory authority. Secondly, we mandate disclosure and certifications for endorsements. And thirdly, most importantly, we raise fines to levels where it actually hurts these high-earning celebrities. अंत में कुछ शब्दों से मेरे विचार व्याप्त करना चाहूंगा. चेहरे थे उजाले के नियत ईमान की, कि चेहरे थे उजाले के नियत ईमान की, आवाज बिक गई कुछ पैसों के लालच में. सच बोलने वाले अब झूठ बेचने लगे. हाँ, सच बोलने वाले अब झूठ बेचने लगे. विश्वास किया था जिन पर, वही विश्वासघात करने लगे. थैंक यू. और शुड आई से आप सभी को मेरा बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
I rise today, Honorable Member of the House, Honorable Speaker, not to merely defend two words, but to protect the very spirit of our Constitution. Socialism and secularism are not just mere words added to the Constitution as afterthoughts, but they hold the very moral compass of it. They are words that speak for those who cannot shout. They are words that protect those who are vulnerable. And they are words, members of the House, that warn those who seek to divide. Yes, they were added during a time when democracy itself trembled in our nation. But I must ask you this. Does a noble truth lose its value because of the troubled times it's come from? No, it does not. Because if it did, it nullifies our entire constitution because it was made during a time of instability. Now, on to socialism. Because the beauty of our country lies in its mixed economy. Because we do not sway to the rhythms of the West, nor do we conform ourselves to the staticity of the cold communist regimes of the past. Because the Indian socialist model is not about state ownership of factories, it's about fairness. It's about giving a farmer hope, a laborer dignity, a child a chance. Our economic policies from the Ayushman Bharat to PM Kisan, they're not just economic policies. They're survival necessities for the working class Indians. So how dare we say socialism must be removed? Now on to secularism. Because it's not just a word. It's a pledge that my God, your God or no God is all equal in the eyes of the law. In a country where religious hate crimes still make headlines, we talk about removing secularism from the preamble. It's like repeating the mistakes we made in our history. Obviously, it's not our mistake that Queen Victoria's proclamation in 1858 introduced her famous divide and rule policy. But what do we have to pay for it? The blood and tears of our own citizens. And removing secularism? It's like reopening those floodgates. It's about ushering in the blood, the crimson blood of our brothers and sisters. And will emerge once again, submerging India. And maybe this time, in a greater quantity. So let us not forget, members of the House, that the preamble is not a museum label. It is a mission statement. It is the future aspirations of our country. And removing the words secularism and socialism will make the people of India ask, does India still belong to Indians? Whether you're rich or poor, Hindu or Muslim, believer or non-believer? So let us not be revisionists. Let us work together and strive towards a freer, fairer and greater India. Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan. Thank you.
Madam, for giving me this recognition. And I want to start by saying that the story of Jammu and Kashmir is not just one of geography. It is of betrayal on one hand and resilience on the other. And we all know which hand it stands for. It is not just about territory, but about security, sovereignty and justice, especially from an Indian perspective. When the Indian Parliament passed a resolution on February 22nd, 1994, it did so as a solemn declaration that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India and that Pakistan must vacate the areas it has occupied through aggression. Let us recall that Maharaja Hari Singh legally acceded to India and Jammu and Kashmir is our territory. Despite referring the matter to the United Nations and UNSC Resolution 47 demanding Pakistan withdraw its troops from Jammu and Kashmir, they defied this agreement. And thus the issue became frozen, misrepresented and systematically exploited. Pakistan still continues to occupy Gilgit-Baltistan and so-called Azad Kashmir. Just like they funded the Pashtuns in 1947, they have been training terror groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Hizbul Mujahideen, and these groups have struck the very core of India. From 2001 Parliament attacks, 26/11 Mumbai, Uri and Pulwama to the very recent 2025 Pahalgam massacre. And Pakistan routinely appeals to international forums regarding Kashmir. But let it be known that according to the Simla Agreement in 1972, Kashmir is a bilateral matter and not an international one. And if I start citing all the human rights violations and customary international law violations and ceasefire agreement violations that Pakistan has done, शायद मैं 3 मिनट नहीं 3 घंटे यहीं बिता दूं. After the abrogation of Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir now has 1 crore citizens covered under national welfare schemes and more than 300 central laws applying to Jammu and Kashmir. Our part of the LOC blooms while their part decays. So I ask all of you, which parts of Kashmir would you live in? The motto of the Indian Army is Seva Paramo Dharma, service before self. Thus I stand here today to fulfill this very service and provide the House with 3 constructives. 1. We must isolate Pakistan diplomatically until it stops. बोल ही दिया है conclude करने के लिए, so I would like to quote this. Lord Krishna told Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Atah chitvam imam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tatah swa dharmam kirtam jahitva papam avapsisi. If you do not fight in this righteous battle, you will forsake your duty and honor and incur sin. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.